WackMatters is brought to you by Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/WackMatters, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial where you can test out Audible's awesome audiobook monthly subscription service. Make sure to go to audibletrial.com/WackMatters.
Welcome to Girl Talk with Marcus and Karsten. We're just curled up in our bed ready to talk to you guys about all of the issues that girls face in today's world. Number one being...
me.
Oh, we got the intro first try, which is good. Welcome to Toon In. This is the show where me and my esteemed colleague, Karsten...
The show where we review cartoons while snuggling in a bed.
This is Toon In. This is the WackMatters show where me and my co-host, Karsten...
Fernando.
Karsten!
Man, that takes me back to high school, dude.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've done my Boy Meets World joke meets my Karsten joke.
I remember the very first time you referred to me as that.
It's camp.
It was from across the parking lot, and I was so confused.
So is everybody else. Nobody had seen Boy Meets World. This is Toon In. This is the podcast where me and Karsten watch cartoons, and then we talk about them to you, and then we hope that you like it, and please like it. Oh gosh, please tell me that you like it.
Yes.
We're watching Avatar: The Last Airbender right now, season 1, and we started watching Avatar, I believe, around episode 20.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, sorry guys. We've been very busy boys.
Yes.
Mostly me. And then Karsten last week, so fight him about that. Freaking get up off my Weewo for a second. Hey Karsten, did you remember that we did jokes on this show?
What's a joke?
Hey, try to be funny real quick. See if you remember how.
Okay, but who needs jokes when you're... Like, who needs to be funny on a podcast when your entire life's a joke?
You've used that so many times, but I still think it's funny.
Because it's true, dog.
Still funny. Yeah, so we're watching Avatar, watching through that, and today we're going to be going over the episodes
You can't
The
even
Great
remember.
Divide and
Maybe if
The
you didn't...
Storm. I took a nap. Shut
Yeah.
up, Karsten. Gosh, can't believe you. I've seen the show before.
That's a
They ask.
mistake.
You're a mistake. Woo! That's what your mom says. Gotcha
Yeah,
again.
I already knew that.
Hey guys, we got an email. From a guy named Thomas. Can you hit me real quick? Just read it real quick, because you know how to read. I'm dyslexic.
All right. Basically, he just said he's a new listener and he's really enjoying the podcast and he wants us to keep up the good work. And
Okay.
first off, I just want
I
what?
don't want to dunk on people that email into the show literally off the bat, but work, yes. I don't know if we can call the work good. Have you heard all of our episodes?
I mean,
I don't. So
it's
like,
certainly not a boat episode.
So like WackMatters has.
Is Toon In the boat episode of the WackMatters series?
No, but here's what I'm trying to say. For Life's What You Rate It, there's episode 4.
For Toon In, there's episode, 1 through 20?
They're just...
Thanks, Thomas. It's actually really encouraging to know that other people other than my siblings listen to this. Like, that's great, and I'm really glad that you're enjoying it, dude.
You also hit us with some suggestions, Thomas, and here's the thing. We will take suggestions. We're going to read through them. Doctor Who, The Power of the Daleks. Is that a cartoon? Have you seen that?
I have never heard of it. Let's Google it real quick. You'd think I would have Googled it as soon as I got the email, but I'm not. I don't plan that far ahead.
We're doing it live, dang it.
Yes. Okay, while you're looking that up, we also got Pokemon Indigo League. That's some good stuff. That's like the original series, right?
I watched all of dude, I sound so bad. I hate being
You sound
sick.
like you're dying. Ben 10, that's good stuff. I remember watching that as a kid. Scooby-Doo, where are you?
I like how he has to specify Ben 10 and then like say 2005.
2005, yeah.
Because there's like the new Ben 10 that's like on right now that's literally dookie.
So there's Ben 10, then there's
I
Ben 10.
could fart into a microphone for literally a minute and it'd be better than the Ben 10 show that's current.
So there's like Ben 10, then Ben 10 Alien Force, then Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, and then the current one? Or was there one in between Ultimate Alien and
another one after Ultimate Alien.
And then there were just like a handful of movies, right?
Yes. However, so I want to do a thing, and I don't know if we can label it Toon In, because I'm literally in the process of saying we're not going to watch this Doctor Who thing for the sole purpose of it's not a cartoon. Like, we might watch it. I like Doctor Who, and I believe you do too.
Yeah.
So, we might watch it but I don't know if it'll be on Toon In ever. Indigo League, I'd already thought about. I watched all of Indigo League, so
I watched most of it, then they started taking episodes off of YouTube.
I watched it on Cartoon Network. I don't know if you can still do that even.
I wasn't allowed to watch it as a child because...
Same. That's what I mean. I watched it on the website, the Cartoon Network website.
And I didn't even have Cartoon Network. Most of the stuff that I watched was bootleg.
So anybody who follows WackMatters, if you go and you watch us play not Rocket League, if you watch us play Rock Band together, and if you watch us, there's an episode of the podcast where we talk about the boys and stuff, being Michael's in-laws, me, and then Michael's two in-laws who are roughly my age, and I've known like my whole life. We watched all of Pokemon Indigo League in a week when they were out to visit.
Talk
California.
about binge watching. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's like a couple hundred episodes.
We got Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Good stuff.
Super good.
Transformers. Are we
I
talking...
don't have Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? I have the other ones, or can find them.
Nifty.
Oh, so I'll have to get it.
Then the Transformers. I'm assuming that's the original.
Cartoon,
Yeah.
yeah. I've seen the movie for that. I've never seen the actual show. So I would be really interested in watching that one.
And then Batman the Animated Series.
Batman the Animated Series. I own all of it. That was my brother's Christmas gift to me.
Nice.
So Michael gifted me a bunch of content. So we're
So
really
yeah,
appreciative
thank
of
you
that.
for all of that, Thomas. We really appreciate that you took time out of your day to like listen to us babble for 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah, and then he also at the very end he asked if we'll be discussing movies. We will be.
As like a special episode
As
kind
like
of thing.
special episodes, yeah.
Yes.
Excuse me. So like for instance.
And also, we're really sorry that it took so long to respond.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm also just sorry we've been busy.
Yeah.
This is
Adulting sucks.
You live far away, and the day that we have to record together is a weekday, not a weekend.
Yep.
So like all the content that I've been working on, minus Life as You Rate It, has been like just me working on it. So I'll stay up late and do it. And then Life as You Rate It is a set record day, but we usually hang out as a family on Saturdays anyway. So
it's kind of like a...
So like it's just like, oh yeah, it's not really hard to find time to record that at all. As opposed to this, it's
Maybe
like,
you should just move to Omaha, dude.
also it doesn't help that the busiest day I have at work is Mondays, but a very close second is Thursdays.
Yeah, it's usually my day off, so...
Thursday is?
Yeah. How about I just
Carsten, hit me
describe
with what
my
happens in
daily
the Great
life?
Divide. Shut up.
Okay, so basically the episode starts out where they're setting up base. Our crew is setting up base camp. I mean, it's been so long. I feel like we should talk about we should rediscuss who we're talking about.
Nope.
No,
Listen
they
to
have the power of the internet. They can just go and listen to the previous episode.
Hey, you dummy. You dummies out there on the internet. Why don't you listen to other episodes of our freaking show?
Don't be mean.
Freaking just everybody's just so stupid. Why don't you go climb in the dumpster and hang out with Spencer? Each episode of Toon In is usually recorded around just shy of an hour.
3.
And I edit that down into half an hour. Because we either say something that's a little too edgy for the brand. We either
Knives.
say something...
See, that was pretty edgy. Cliff 90 degrees.
Batman versus Superman.
Corners.
The end of a table.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
The Great Divide starts out with Team Avatar setting up their camp, and then Sokka and Katara get into a fight because Katara sucks.
And so does Sokka.
Essentially,
Actually, no, Sokka's pretty
here's the thing.
logical.
It's in the middle of the freaking summer in a gosh dang desert. And she's mad that he doesn't put the rain tarp up above the tent.
It's called a rain fly.
You're a rain fly.
Your fly's down.
You have a rain fly, if you know what I mean. It's a penis joke.
Let's just try and not cut so much.
Yeah, so then they get into a fight, and it's like...
Honestly, yeah, I guess Sokka was right.
being logical.
Yeah, he
So
usually
like
is.
it's like set up.
He usually is the one who's like making the logical decision, and it's like actually makes sense. And
Yeah,
I
it's
find
like
myself siding with him more often than anyone else.
yeah, it's like it's set up for them to be like equal parts. Like, well, either one of them could be right, but no, for real, Super Sokka's right and she's not.
Male ingenuity.
Oh, I can't probably have that in there. It sounds a little sexist.
All hail the dominant
Hey
race.
guys, I have a good bit you can do. Whenever you see something, instead of referring to things as sexist, act like you're dumb and refer to them as sexy.
Well, that was super sexy.
So, yeah, you so like when you want, like, just talk about how like,
Donald Trump is the sexiest man alive.
yeah, like you know what I mean, like so like just like in the episode of Life Since You Rate It, me and Michael encourage you guys to wherever you see any promotional material for American Idol, you need to salute and don't reference it. Like just start saluting. If you're watching TV, a commercial comes on, salute while the commercial's on. And when people look at you so confused, don't explain it or don't reference it at all. Just do it. Just like that, when you hear somebody talk about sexism, just refer to it as sexy.
I feel like that could go wrong really fast.
Couldn't happen. So now you look stupid, don't you?
I always look stupid.
No, you don't, boo. So, Avatar. His name's Avatar, right? Hey, we're watching the show Avatar, and the main character's name is Avatar, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of like how Halo's about Mr. Halo.
I freaking love Mr. Halo. So Aang is settles the score.
He plays Switzerland in this entire episode.
Aang essentially.
And no one who listens to this show is old enough to understand that joke.
I don't know how old Thomas is. Thomas is probably 82.
Thomas, if you're actually 82, I'm sorry.
Hey Thomas, as far as I know, you're literally the one person who listens to the show who's not Karsten or me. So I just want to take a quick also like time out just to say thanks again. I know we already had this whole but segment in the show where we talked about how thankful we were of you and how much like we really do love doing this, but also it's really hard to find time to do, but if people care about it, it makes it less hard. So I just want to say thanks again, because like, man, what a freaking, here's the thing, I remember that day that I actually saw the email and stuff, and it was a bad day at work, but you know what made it a lot better? That somebody actually listened to our show and liked our just so much time and effort we put into this thing. Back to our show again. So Aang is essentially playing mediator between the sibling rivalry.
He just kind of jumps in, stays neutral, jumps in, and then just like, hey, how about instead of fighting,
you guys just quit being babbies, you stupid little babbies,
and you just do it right. And by do it right, he means switch jobs. Like it's like Sokka, if
you go get the firewood,
you get the firewood, and Katara, you put up the tent. So
essentially, he tells the woman to stay home, which it feels a little sexy to me.
I know exactly what you're saying, but it's still concerning.
So then a bunch of people from another tribe come, and somebody from another tribe comes named the clean boys, come, and he was like, hey, I'm saving the seat for the tour guide to walk us through the Great Divide, and the tour guide looks exactly,
sleepy boy. The tour guide looks exactly like Aang's disguise when they went into the Earth Kingdom of
Amashu,
the Earth City of Amashu,
and
but they didn't like make any references to that at all, and I was kind of disappointed.
And then the dirty boy whole tribe came, so they were like, we're all here, so we get to go, and he's like, but the clean boy is like, hey, but I'm holding a spot, and the tour guide's like, well, I can't guide people through a canyon who aren't even freaking here, dummies, so I'm out. And then the clean boys show up, and then they get into a big fight, and then Aang essentially is just like, Appa's gonna fly the old and the sick over, and everybody else will walk together.
And they're just like, we'd rather die.
And then he's like, shut up, idiots. This is the freaking one episode I like Aang in.
And he actually,
So far,
yeah.
at least. I'm sure there's another episode I really like Aang in. Actually, we'll get to that next episode. But,
Yeah.
I like Aang in this one.
Yeah.
He's not actively super annoying like he usually is.
He's 10.
You're 10.
You're right.
Get dunked on, stupid dumb idiot. So, they go over the Great Divide and then they leave. That's it.
They walk through the Grand Canyon.
Oh,
And
sorry.
they get attacked by giant
A very
spider
important thing
things.
is, right before they leave, they're told to empty all of their food out.
And yeah, they're not supposed to bring any food because it's going to attract these giant crawler beasts that'll eat them if they have food.
They're called
I can't remember.
crawl boys.
Crawl boys, yeah. So the crawl boys come in, and turns out the clean boys and the dirty boys both smuggled food into the canyon. And so because of that, the crawl boys...
So essentially the reasoning is the clean boys are like...
Yeah, well, the dirty
Or they're
boys...
like, well, the dirty boys are for sure going to bring food in, so why does it matter if we do? Because the dirty boys are going to do it anyway. And the dirty boys are like, the clean boys just think they were a bunch of freaking horrible dumpster boys, so, like, why would we ever try to act not like a horrible dumpster boy if the clean boy, like, if that's what everybody thinks of us anyway? Also, screw the clean boys. Bunch of preps, narcs.
Yes. So then these giant crawler beast boys thingy come in.
The crawl boys.
The crawl boys come in and they start eating everyone now, and everyone's freaking out because oh no.
They don't actually eat anybody, but they do attack.
Because
and they break.
Kids.
They break the tour guide's arm. And the big thing about that was going on was the tour guide is an earthbender who would use his abilities to
help them across the canyon.
Help them across the canyon. Like, he pulls out part of the pathway when they're going down the canyon, and then he breaks it when they get to the bottom. And then he was going to pull out a pathway from the canyon wall when they get to the other side, because he knows that they're all on the run from the Fire Nation. They're all refugees, or seeking asylum in not Omashu, Ba Sing Se.
Yes.
So he has to make it impossible for them to be followed. Otherwise, they could get caught by the Fire Nation, essentially. But he can't do that anymore because
his arm's broken.
His arm's broken, and he can't earthbend.
So he's ultimately useless and should be sacrificed to the crawl boys.
Crawl boys don't like old people. They're a bunch of ageists. So essentially what happens is Aang goes to yell at everybody. Well, everybody's fighting, and Aang goes to yell at them. Oh no! And he earthbends a whole bunch.
Aang doesn't earthbend.
Airbends a whole bunch.
There we go.
Got it in one. And
no, you didn't.
Finds out that there's a bunch of food everywhere, and he gets mad at everybody. But then a bunch of crawl boys attack, and then they essentially they gather up all of this stuff and keep it in bags and things.
And then they ride up to the snouts of the crawl boys, so the crawl boys chase it forward, and they guide them up the side of the canyon while riding on their backs, and boom, they're safe. And then they throw the food back over the edge, so the crawl boys jump back into the canyon.
And die. They kill themselves. Idiots.
The last melon.
So, then Aang goes on to tell a story about...
Yeah, so basically we find out, the previous night we find out why the two cities hate each other. It's because the Dirty Boys founding leader...
They think was wrongfully imprisoned for 20 years.
And then the Clean Boys... so the Dirty Boys, the way their story goes is... The Clean Boys leader had this magical orb thing, and he dropped it when he was mugged. So then the Dirty Boys leader found him, tried to help him, but then the Clean Boy leader was like, no, you must take the orb back to my city. So the guy's just like, okay, and the Dirty Boy leader takes the orb back to the city, but then gets imprisoned by the Clean Boys and thrown in prison for 20 years. Then the Clean Boys say that what happened was the Dirty Boy guy just stole it and ran off. So that's why they imprisoned him.
Which is exactly what happened. Screw those Dirty Boys. Idiots.
So then when they're back up on top of the ridge, Aang just says, oh, guess what? Y'all didn't know this, but I'm 120 years old. And I knew those guys. Turns out they weren't old men. They were actually twins.
Babbies.
They were twins, and they were like small children. And the orb, the magical orb, was just a regular ball, and they were playing a sport. And he makes up this whole baloney story about about how it wasn't anything, it was just a sport, and then he didn't get imprisoned for 20 years, he was just put in timeout for
minutes.
Yeah, for 2 minutes.
2 years.
That's one heck of a
Some
timeout.
harsh parents.
Yeah, he was put in timeout for 2 minutes. So then, yeah, he just makes up something, and everyone buys it. And then later, once all the villages have finally made peace and run off, then Katara's just like, wow, what an amazing story. And Aang said, yeah, any story can be amazing if you make it up. And I was just like, wow. That origin story is slightly less disappointing.
Yeah, because Karsten was really bummed out by how dumb that story was.
I was just like, if that's really what happened, I'm going to be super peeved because
Yeah.
that's so stupid.
He was going to be, pardon my French, but he's going to be so upset.
But gosh, I was almost peeved.
And then he wasn't. And then the episode ends. And this is like the only episode where Aang, not the only one, this is the first episode where Aang is like pretty level-headed and actually like how middling he is on a lot of issues and like things is useful and cool. And he's just the best in this episode. He's the best character in this specific episode.
Yes.
If you had to pick something that was like a big highlight of this episode to you, what would it be?
Oh, probably the moment when like Aang gets the air moving really fast and it's like super intimidating. He's like yelling at everyone.
That was cool. I just like the animation styles they use.
Oh yeah,
When the dirty boy's telling the story and when the clean boys are telling the story, they switch up the animation for the story.
So like when the clean boys are telling the story, it's like a really polished, really nice, elegant animation. But then like when the
Dirty boys.
when the dirty boys are telling the story, it's very cartoony.
And I just like that a lot. I think it's cool when they do that kind of thing narratively.
Mhm.
And I thought both animation styles look cool. So
Yeet.
that was the episode of Avatar. We're gonna have a quick word from our sponsors. Take it away. What's the next one about?
The next episode is called The Storm. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this episode kind of starts out where Aang is having a dream. And it's a really weird dream. He's kind of like flying around and... Oh no! Why am I like this?
Why do I
And
yawn?
I'm back! So like, Aang's flying on Appa, and they're flying through the air, and then Sokka shows up, and he's airbending Aang's glider through the air. And then Katara shows up, and she's riding a giant Momo through the air, and it's, like, kind of magical and really weird. And then Aang's just like, I love you guys! And then Aang's monk friend, the guy who trained him.
Oh
as a
crap!
child.
What's his name? Monkeyatsu.
Yes, him. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. He shows up and it's just like, why'd you leave us, Aang? Why'd you leave us? And then Aang flies into a storm cloud and dies. Then he wakes up.
And then
So then they all wake up and it's like, stop messing with my calf muscles. So then Aang kind of just wakes up and everyone wakes up and then Aang's just like, oh, it's okay, guys. I just had a bad dream. Oh yeah, no. So everyone wakes up and Sokka like jumps out of his sleeping, like he like sits up in his sleeping bag and he's like holding both of his weapons like he was sleeping with them. He's like, what are we getting? Did we get
Did we get captured again?
Did we get captured again?
Which was very funny.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Wait, how did you remember that? You were asleep.
I was awake for most of this episode.
Oh yeah, that was before Danny left. Okay.
I fell asleep a little bit while Danny
After
was
your
here.
special friend left.
I fell asleep a little bit while Danny was here during the first episode, though.
So how much? Okay.
So then it cuts to...
the next morning.
No, I was going to do the Fire Nation stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I always forget about them.
Yeah, screw those guys, idiots.
Nobody remembers the Fire Nation.
Those just a bunch of mean boys. So, what happened?
Exactly.
Zuko is... Oh.
Zuko's being Zuko.
No, so essentially, what's his name? Iroh's just like, hey, there's a storm coming. And Zuko's like, Quit playing your stupid game while we're on the show. Stop it.
I wasn't playing. The game plays itself.
So essentially, Iroh's like, hey, there's a storm coming, and Zuko's like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," and then they leave.
Wow, that was a 10 out of 10 Zuko impression.
Yeah, I freaking killed it. So
Okay,
then,
but not gonna lie, I thought you were still talking about what Zuko was saying to Iroh. Like when you said stop playing your stupid game, we're on the show. I thought you were talking because that totally makes sense because I'm pretty sure in that episode at that point, Uncle Iroh was playing his like checkers game. So it made 100% sense, and then it clicked. Oh, he's talking to me.
yeah, yeah. Then the show gets really meta when Iroh starts talking to Karsten. It was really weird
because Zuko's always telling Uncle Iroh to like stop playing his checkers game and get to work, isn't he?
No,
Well, not necessarily
one
get to
time
work.
there was one time where there was an episode about that, but just one.
You see, when I get this tired, my brain mashes all of that together.
You remember all the other episodes of Avatar as one episode.
Episode 1, and then episode this.
We're watching. This is episode.
Episode this.
This is episode 2 right now. Episode 2 of Avatar.
And then next episode, this will be. Then the next episode will be episode 2, and this will be part of episode 1. It'll just join the collective.
So, essentially, Zuko's just really grumpy, of course, and then
Like always.
Yeah, they leave. Whatever. And he goes, no, we're still going to sail this way, even if there's a storm, because screw the crew members on my boat.
Yeah, he kind of just has a complete Richard moment.
So then they realize that, so Aang and Team Avatar realizes they're out of food, so they go to the nearest town to get some food. And then they realize they're out of money.
Yeah, after messing with all of the merchandise.
Yeah, and the girl gets mad at him and kicks Sokka in the butt, and it's funny. So then
they get back on Appa.
There's a grumpy sail boy, and
he's like the whole time, like, what is wrong with me? So like the whole time, like this whole episode, like half of everyone we meet is saying, oh, the sky's so clear, there's not a cloud in the sky, the weather's going to be great all day. And then the other half of everyone we meet is saying, no, I can just feel it in my gut, there's a storm coming.
And the woman and the sail boy get into an argument, and he's like, no, this guy looks fine. So she's like, well, I'm not going to go out today with you because I know that it's going to storm. And he goes, well, I'm fine, I'd pay anybody to go do what you would do, and I'll pay him double. So then
Sokka's just like, hey,
in.
I think the weather's going to be nice, and I need money, so I'm going to go with this guy, and we're going to get paid. Let's get this bread.
And then the guy freaks out on Aang, and they...
Because he's like, wait, you're the Avatar. You left us for 120 years.
100 years, exactly. And then...
No, 120.
And then Aang leaves.
Because I said so.
Aang freaks out and flies away, while at the same time, essentially, you see the storm approaching at this point, and Zuko is making everybody
work harder,
and then he gets into a fight with the lieutenant, essentially, and
then
Iroh breaks it up.
Yeah, before it actually turns into a fight.
And then we get a fun flashback backstory episode of
how
main protagonist of this season and the main antagonist of this season, and it's good.
It's dope. Cool and good. Ooh, nice legs.
Heck yeah, dude. I got a little toasty just now, so I had to take off the blanket.
I'll take that then.
Are you cold?
No, I just can always use more blankets.
It's just in life.
Yeah. You can never have... Ooh, it's all warm now. I like it.
So, what... Hey, so I got an idea. You do, Aang's backstory, and then I'll do Zuko's backstory.
Okay, so I'll take the okay one, you take the cool one. Sounds good.
Yeah, suck it.
Okay. So, and like the way they go between these is cool because it's not like they tell one backstory at a time. They like do like a scene from one backstory and then switch over to the other person's backstory and do a scene from that one and switch back and forth. And it's really cool and really well timed actually, and I appreciated it.
Yeah, I remember not liking this episode. Well, I remember liking this episode, but then when I was watching it, I remember being like, it's just a storm. I don't remember what happens. And then I remembered what it was. I was like, oh yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah. So basically, Aang's story starts out. He found out. So normally, the Airbender monks had decided that they would tell Aang who he was when he turned 16. But they realized that the world was changing and there was a war coming, so they had to tell him sooner to prepare him for the war. So and Aang's super salty about this whole thing because it kind of it changed his whole life. So one day when he was out playing with his friends, the other kids at the temple, the old monks approached and pulled him away and told him, "Hey, guess what? You're the Avatar." And he was like, "Wait, what is? Well, I am." And so then all his friends found out, and his friends didn't want to play with him anymore because they felt like, because all of the games that they'd play required you to be able to bend, and they all thought that Aang would have an unfair advantage since he's the Avatar, and he's just like, "Come on, guys, I'm still the same Aang." And they're just like, "Nah, you're the Avatar, and you got an unfair advantage." And so he loses all of his friends. So then he's stuck spending all of his time with
Monkeyatsu.
Yes. And which isn't necessarily bad because the guy's like a father to him. But then the other monks decide that Monkeyatsu and Aang are spending too much time together, and it's causing Aang to not be able to focus on his training to become the Avatar, like to successfully be the Avatar. So they decide that they're going to send Aang away to the southern air temple. And Aang's just like, "No, I don't want to go." So he runs off on Appa and then gets stuck in a storm and crashes into the ocean, goes all Captain America, gets stuck in an iceberg for 60 years, and then he's found by the Avengers.
That'd be a fun crossover.
Do, 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 do. Do. Loki never saw it coming.
So
you could say he was blown away.
So we get a really fun backstory. Not fun, sad kind of.
Yeah, it's very depressing.
But we get a backstory of Zuko when he was younger, actually in the Fire Nation. So Zuko essentially realizing that he's going to be the next ruler, ideally, of the Fire Nation.
Of the Fire Nation. We are slowly falling apart.
Yeah, excuse me. Realizing he's going to be the next ruler of the Fire Nation, he wants to go into a war council meeting with the rest of the generals and whatnot. And the guards won't let him in, and then Iroh essentially is like, "Hey, if you promise to be quiet, I'll let you in." So Zuko follows him in. And also, real quick, just mad props to the voice actor of Zuko. Because,
yeah, seriously.
Like, he has, like, this really, like, angsty, angry voice that he's been using, like, the whole show to do Zuko because of who Zuko is. But then, like, during this flashback, he sounds like
a happy child.
So much lighter. It's really good. And, like, it's so distinctly the same voice, but the inflection and the whole tone of how he's speaking is with such a lighter tone, which is really cool that he's able to do that and such a good job. So, mad props.
Yes, I could never do that.
So, essentially, the War Council's talking about how they're going to sacrifice a bunch of new recruits so that they can take some Earth City. And he essentially is like, that you're going to kill all those guys? Like, you can't do that.
Zuko stands up and speaks out a line.
And then...
like I just did.
The Fire Lord, which I like how they do this thing where you never hear the Fire Lord speak and you never see his face till the third season. Ever. It's really, I think it's just neat how they do that. Intentionally so. And then they end up getting Mark Hamill to voice him for season 3.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's really good, which is going to be so much longer because we're done with Avatar for a minute while we're done with this.
Oh, don't think
season.
I'm not going to watch it on my own time.
Yeah, that's fair. It's so good. I freaking love this show. So, Zuko then has to fight because he disrespected that guy, but he didn't understand he actually has to fight his dad, and then you essentially learn that
he refused to fight.
He refused to fight, and then his dad branded him and banished him. and that's why he has a burned eye, and that's why he can't go back.
Issues.
And that's why he has to find the Avatar, because it's the only way he can have redemption for that.
I must regain my honor.
It's just sad.
Yeah.
It bums me out, kind of.
Yeah.
Alright, take it.
Okay, so then the storm comes in. Oh, that's your arm. So then the storm comes in and starts wrecking everything. So Katara and Aang are stuck in a cave trying to wait out the storm, and the old lady shows up and is like, "Help! My husband has not returned from his fishing trip. They're in danger. I need help." So Katara.
Also, I forgot to mention that sail boy was just so sexy to his wife at the beginning.
That sounded really weird.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable.
Sorry, go ahead. I was like, I gotta get my joke in there.
Yep. All right. So where was I? Oh yeah. So Katara and Aang decide, okay, you know what? Storms are air and water, so it makes sense for us to go. So they get onto Appa and they fly off into the storm and they find the boat. But guess what? Surprise, surprise, it's not the boat they're looking for. It's the Fire Nation boat. And all of the crew members of the Fire Nation boat are just like, Zuko, look, it's the Avatar. And Zuko's just like, let him pass. And so at the moment, the storm is also doing a number on the Fire Nation boat, and it's threatening the lives of some of the Fire Nation crew. And Zuko's like, "Oh no, my people!" And
so he does care.
Yeah, so he does actually care. He's all bark and no bite. So he saves his crew, and it's just like, the Avatar can wait. My crew's more important. I'll find the Avatar some other day. I'll save my crew members now. And it's kind of a sweet thing, sweet little moment. So yeah, Aang flies off, and it's just like, hey, we actually got past. Then they find the real boat and
save everybody,
save everyone on board. And then Zuko's just like, okay, now get the Avatar. But then they don't get him because he's the protagonist and he's got plot armor. Yeah. So then
it ends.
Yeah. Then the episode kind of just ends on a good note.
And the next episode is really cool, but that's next week.
Next week? You mean next month?
No, we're going to do it next week. No matter what, boys.
Honestly, we could probably record, like, after con.
Is the con next week?
Yeah. The con's next week.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
My dates are all out of whack.
Because it's the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th.
You're the 28th, 29th, and the 30th. Boys.
What does that even mean? So yeah, like if we really wanted, we could probably just record after. Like since it's Ocon, it ends at a specific time. It's not like a party con where they're like all night, where it goes all night, and you just kind of leave whenever. Like we can like after the con. Record.
So I want to thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, that was way off topic. Okay.
And this is a lot of work, and I'm really sorry that we haven't been.
If any of are you gonna put this up like this week?
Yeah.
If any of you are gonna be at Okamicon, try and find us. We'll be there.
Heck yeah.
Listen for our voices, since we don't have a video podcast yet.
We'll do a video at some point also.
I mean, I suppose if you find Marcus, you'll probably find me.
Yeah.
And you guys know what Marcus looks like.
Because we're best friends. And then... So we're going to be at Ocon.
You can have a booth?
We are not. I don't think Michael was in charge of that, and I don't think that he ended
Sick.
up wanting to
You
do
can
that.
spend the whole time with me.
Yeah. So...
And Ian.
Well, there's not a ton to do at Ocon anyway.
You just kind of walk around a lot, find people that are dressed as characters from the same thing as you, and take pictures.
Yeah.
Or spend all of your money.
All them dollars. So, essentially...
I'm not even bringing my wallet. I'm just going to bring cash.
Yeah,
and then when I'm out of cash, I'm out.
Get excited for Ocon. I am excited, actually.
I'm really excited. My costume is not done yet, and I'm panicking.
Yeah, so you do need to leave.
What?
Where was I? I don't remember what we talked about.
We just started talking about the convention.
Oh, so, feel free to donate. There's a donate button. But also, if you want to give us money in, like, a way that you feel like you're getting something more out of it.
Find us at the con. Give it to us in person.
Yeah, so we can say thank you. No, we got merch up. Me and Michael are in the stages of also like testing out some prototype merch that will hopefully be up on the store soon.
I'd buy it.
Heck yeah, dude. Both of it is good.
I'm just waiting for that underwear though.
We are gonna get undies. We got sweaties already. We're gonna get undies though. We're gonna get scarves. We're gonna get
What about socks?
no socks. We are gonna get
Pantyhose.
we are gonna get steering wheel
WackMatters
covers.
Lingerie.
We're gonna get steering wheel covers.
I'd wear it.
A steering wheel cover?
No. Don't die, my dude.
Dang it. I'm dead.
I've been dead for years.
This is the end of the show. I want to thank you guys for listening. And literally, I promise you guys next week, you'll be able to tune in next time.
Yeah.
We're doing yeah now? Dang it. Hold on. Remember when we did the Pokemon thing?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can do it first try this time.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
Dang it!
I wanna be what Pokemon thing are you talking about? Because I don't remember a Pokemon thing.
What's the Team Rocket thing?
Prepare for trouble.
And make it double.
Karsten.
No.
That's the ending. To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Karsten.
Marcus.
Team Us blasts off at the speed of light.
Surrender now, prepare to fight. Whitaker, that's right.
We should have. Now you gotta insert your dog barking or something.
No, he's been doing that the whole episode.
Then just like.
Thanks for listening to the podcast that we produce here at WackMatters.com. Just in case you didn't know, we have a lot of different shows running right now. There's Life's What You Rate It, where me and my brother Mark rate everything on a scale from 1 to 10 that exists in the entire universe. Toon In, where Marcus and his friend Karsten talk about cartoons and their value for people of all ages. Of course, Whack Tracks, where me and a bunch of friends make commentary tracks for whatever shows or movies we might be into at the time. And our newest show on the network, The Music Matters, where my friend Trevor creates a discussion around all the matters relating to music. If you'd like to support the content we make here at WackMatters.com, please go to WackMatters.storeenvy.com and check out our merchandise section. We sell t-shirts right now, and there's more merchandise to come. Even if you don't want to buy a t-shirt, there is a donate button at WackMatters.com that you can use to support the content that we already make and to help fund creative ideas for the future. Additionally, this podcast is also brought to you by Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/WackMatters, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial with Audible.com where you get to listen to a free audiobook of your choosing and can continue subscribing for an awesome audiobook content subscription. Remember, that's audibletrial.com/WackMatters. We love you all and hope you will continue checking out the content we make here at WackMatters.com. Have a great day.